The virtual world offers many opportunities to better understand the energy transition. Here, EEIP uses the virtual world to discuss a new novel approach to investments in energy efficiency.
And in a few minutes, Rod will explain the Investor Confidence Project, which is basically to de-risk energy efficiency and will lead to more capital and more energy efficiency projects taking place. And of course, let us know if we can also be part of your solutions. But now, over to you, Rod.
Thank you, Jürgen. And everybody, please, I enjoy this virtual world, and I would like to explain the Investor Confidence Project for you in this virtual world, and welcome all of you that are standing around watching it on the large screen. I'd like to explain the Investor Confidence Project in a little bit more depth so that you get a better understanding of what we're trying to do and where you fit into the whole project. Now, the objective is to unlock capital for energy efficiency projects. For far too long, we have been not having nearly enough projects undertaken. And so here we are. This is one way, the Investor Confidence Project is one way of doing this. The solution is to standardize development, documentation, and measurement of energy efficiency projects. What we're doing is standardizing the process, not technologies. The benefits, it will increase client confidence, so we will see more asset managers, more asset owners take the decision to have an energy efficiency project in their facility. Now, the origin is that there is a lack of standardization. It is a problem. We've known this. And here, let's just find this quote from somebody from Citibank, from Michael Eckhart, the Managing Director and Global Head of Sustainable Finance. Energy efficiency projects do not yet meet the requirements of capital markets. No two projects or contracts are alike. This is absolutely fundamental to what we're trying to achieve. And this is obviously something that you have to be concerned about every day of your working career. Now, the lack of standardization results in two areas. One, on the business side, it means that there can be greater performance risk, and that leads to an uncertainty in limiting demand, so there's just fewer projects being done. On the finance side, it means that with the lack of standardization, it means that there's higher transaction costs, and it's difficult to aggregate. Don't forget, a lot of the projects are small enough that if we can aggregate them, we can take them to financial institutions and ease the financing for them over the long term. Now, we have a novel solution. It's called the Investor Ready Energy Efficiency. It's a trademarked program. It's an international framework for reducing client and investor risk, lowering due diligence costs, increasing certainty of savings achievement, and enabling the aggregation. When we say increasing the certainty of savings achievement, it doesn't mean that we guarantee it's going to get 20%. That's a relationship between the project developer and the asset owner. What we're doing is ensuring that the process is transparent and clear enough, and that will lead to better certainty and savings. How does it work? We have protocols. In industry, we have a complex one and we have a more targeted one. And what we do is there are 5 steps to them. There's a baseline so that we find out what the baseline energy consumption is so that we can actually do the savings projections. Then the third element is design, construction, and verification, where all of this is actually, the project is developed. Then there's the operations, the maintenance, and the monitoring. And this is absolutely the key part of it because the project doesn't just stop. It's an ongoing process. Then we have a measuring and verification system. We don't set the system, although IP MVP is the main way we do it. It depends how. We're setting up a process, and this is a relationship thing that's defined inside the protocol itself. Now, the elements, we have the standards, we have data elements, and we have qualifications. We have qualifications for those who will actually undertake the process. We have procedures. So what we do is we try to follow a best practice workflow. We've assessed what's going on in Europe and globally. And so we try to follow standard industry best practices or good practices. And then there's documentation, which is absolutely fundamental to the whole process. We have a standard documentation package, and we have itemized outputs that are required. Now, for project developers, these can be ESCOs or others who play that intermediary role between the asset manager and the financial community. It means more projects based on clients' trust in estimated savings and financial, once this process is understood and used. By being a project developer under our approach, it differentiates your company and increases the credibility with customers. Well, one of the things we've done is to create awareness, so more asset owners are aware of this process. And so that the more that people see this ICP being used, it will differentiate you with other ESCOs or other project developers who are not using the system. It increases the ability to connect with finance, insurance, utility programs without additional transaction costs. And I'll show you that in a second. What I mean in the next two slides, we have a whole series of allies, different companies throughout Europe who feel confident of the approach that we're taking. Some of these are energy companies. You see E.ON there, for example. Some of them are associations, some of them are banks, some of them are ESCOs themselves. So you'll see that the development of allies to actually give a little bit more confidence that this approach is actually starting to work. We have an investor network. You'll see the companies that are listed there, and we're definitely trying to get more, but already what we're seeing is that this network represents 1.5 billion euros in energy efficiency project capital that's there now. It's looking for quality projects built on our standards, and even some of these institutions will provide incentives for projects that are certified under our approach. So, what's next? How can you join and benefit from our process? As a project developer, you can register as a project developer. You'll see how in a second. You can apply those protocols in your next projects, and you can get project certified under our approach. How? We start with a training program, and the first one is starting on Friday, the 27th of April. It's a 2-hour training, and that will allow you, once your documentation has been vetted, to register and to be part of our network and to be able to use this process. Right now, it allows for free certification. We have project assistance. We have a technical team that's there to help. And there's also marketing. In marketing, we're looking for pilot projects right now. And once we have these projects in place and actually started, then our team can be helping market what you're doing around Europe and globally. So this is a big benefit to you. Don't forget, this is a project that's funded by the European Union right now. We're still in the phase of checking to make sure all of it will work for industry. We're certain it will, but this is still checking things out. Anyway, I would like to thank you. And now let's move back to the other side. So it means that you can take off your headsets now and leave this virtual world. Thank you very much.